What up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and we are here today, you guys, with another review for Power Book 3, Raising Kanan, Season 3, Episode 4. This episode is titled In Sheep's Clothing, you guys. Before we get into this review, you guys, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel and you guys aren't subscribed yet, then I need you guys to do me a solid favor and do me a solid favor and stop taking me on this day and having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know the routine. You can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, turning on your post notifications, and sharing the video, you guys. And with that out of the way, without further ado, let's discuss Raising Kanan, shall we? All right, you guys, so this episode, I don't really know where to start up at, so I guess we'll just start up with the feds, right? So you guys know that remember, previously, the feds had talked to Rock. Remember, after the whole situation with the Italians, you remember they put all this on to Crown Camacho, saying that Crown was behind this, right? Well, in this week's episode, the feds pulled Howard into an office. And so the feds at this point are struggling to make the connection, right? Because they're drawing blanks. They don't understand it because from what they're hearing in the streets, Crown was just a music guy. So how did Crown go from being just a music guy to this person who was doing all this illegal drug activity, you know, at the Baisley and all in these projects and all that kind of stuff, right? And Howard's whole thing is he's saying, well, you know, I was out there doing all this stuff, and it's hard for me to wrap my brain around the fact that he had all this business that he was doing, and I didn't know nothing about it, right? So the feds are thinking that, you know, this is just way too easy. And then, you know, remember them finding his body. They think this is way too easy. So once again, he's like, you know, that's what these people are doing these days. Like, they're trying to find the next Run DMC. You know, they make all this illegal money and then they go and put it into a record label. Well, you're right about that. The money was the money from the label was actually coming from Raquel and Lou Thomas. But okay. Now, as he was getting ready to leave this office with those guys, they asked him, like, so have you heard anything of what's going on with the shooting? You know, what about that? What's going on with that? He said, man, you know, there's more thoughts than theories about that one. I was like, oh, so I was like, okay, Howard, I mean, if that's how we gonna play it, shit, that's how we gonna play it. But yeah, you guys, with Detective Howard, I'm curious to know how long he's gonna be around, because I think things for him are now starting to they're slowly unraveling, especially after him taking out Shannon. I don't think that he's going to be able to keep it together for very, very much longer. Those are my thoughts. I want you guys to tell me what you think. Let's pause here and move forward, you guys. Y'all. Next up, the Black Michael Myers. So the Black Michael Myers, you guys remember last week he saw Neek coming from Rock's place, so he now knows that Neek and Rock are sleeping together, right? So he went to this bar and he met up with this couple named Pop and Snaps, right? Now, when he said Pop initially, I thought he was talking about like his actual father, but no, the woman's name is Pop. So Pop was hitting on him. I was like, lady, I would literally back the fuck away from that creepy thing right there. She called him Urkel, and I was like, I would give him Urkel, but Urkel intensified like Michael Myers. That's who he is. So the Black Michael Myers is basically trying to get some work, right? At this point, he needs money because he just got out of prison. He don't have anything. And so Pop and Snaps, they're like telling him, you know, whatever Neek got going on, we gotta trust Neek. And you know, the Black Michael Myers is saying that Neek is making plans with his dick because he's sleeping with the competition. And she was like, "Who's your fine ass brother sleeping with?" I was like, "Lady, ain't this your husband right here? You hit on this fool right here when he came in, and now you talking about his fine ass brother, lady." Okay, maybe y'all got the kind of arrangement. So they told him, so he told them that he's fucking Rock. So they said, really? Because word on the street is that Rock is out the business and she done closed up shop. He asked her, what the fuck you know about that? I thought you was out the, you out the business too. I was like, Black Michael Myers, calm down, sir. Like, you're very creepy and you do a whole lot. And, oh, God. So at one point, he told him he didn't have any money. So they was like, oh, so you come to us, ask us for some money, right? So they agreed to give him some of the money, but he got to go out and get other people to go in on him with this in order for them to, help him out. So, but they also want a return on their investment is what they want. I was like, ugh, do y'all really trust him? Y'all trust him. Now, we see Neek. So Neek is talking to the Asian guy, right? And Neek is telling him like, hey, business is slowly coming together, but it's going to be a while before we do anything. And so he told him like, because the other Asian mentioned his cousin at the Chinese shop. And he was like, well, if you feel the same way he feels, then I can take my ass on and go elsewhere. And the cousin was like, no, what we'll do is we'll give you a little time. Cool. So then we see Pernessa, so she's at home, and Neek came home, and she asked him, "So Neek, what other girls you got there fucking?" He was like, "Pernessa, the only thing you need to worry about is the fact that I'm taking care of you and our son." And she was like, "That ain't good enough for me." She's like, well, whatever bitch you fucking, have her wash your clothes, polish your jewelry and all that kind of. I was like, wait a minute, girl, you do all of that for him? Why? I was like, okay, girlfriend, you the fool, not him. You the fool. So then we also see the Black Michael Myers. He is at the bingo game. And I was like, I remember this bingo game. Then it dawned on me, Dean, because you guys know Dean does. I never understood why Dean did business at the bingo game, and then turned his grandma's hearing aid off, right? So Dean comes in and sees the Black Michael Myers sitting there, and he asked, he was like, nigga, what the fuck you doing here? And so, the Black Michael Myers says he's looking for some work. And Dean told him, like, I don't fuck with you and I don't fuck with your brother. And so, here go this damn fly. I've been trying to take out this fly for the last few days. He is a cunning little bitch. So what I'm about to do is, after I edit these videos and upload them, I am going straight to the store. And you will land on my computer, you raggedy. Ooh, I'm going to the store and buy me some bug spray because he got to go. Like, get the fuck. Like, the fuck, I hate flies. This fly's been in here for 2 weeks. The crazy thing is, with this fly, I thought he had probably, flew out, but he's been hiding. And I just noticed him this week. Like, I don't see him. Well, I don't be at home that much anyway, so. But right about now, this fly just keeps flying around my living room. Literally, as I'm filming this video, just keeps flying around, making me forget what the fuck I'm talking about. Like, I don't even. But Neek, Dean and Black Michael Myers. So the Black Michael Myers is telling Dean, like, I'm not like my brother, right? And so Dean still told him, nigga, no. And the Black Michael Myers yoked up Dean and said, I'm not a nigga that you tell no. I was like, oh, okay. And so one of Dean's men came up to him with, the gun pointed at his gut. I was like, and he said, I'm not a nigga that you fuck with. I got you, he was like, I was like, Dean, I don't know if you want to mess with this man. This man is a little creep to me. I just don't trust him. He scares the shit out of me. Literally scares the hell out of me. So then we see Neek. So Neek is having dinner with Rock, and he's telling Rock about the situation with Ronnie going and talking to Dean, because Dean told him. And I was like, oh, okay. So she said, I thought you was supposed to find him some work. He said, he hasn't found anything for him, and the type of what he's good for a specific thing. And I was like, what is that specific thing that Ronnie is good for? Whew. So later in the episode, we see Neek. So Neek got home, and the Black Michael Myers is sitting there, and he's eating some pizza, right? So Neek asked him about this situation with, Dean. The Black Michael Myers said, I don't know what you're talking about. I ain't saw no damn Dean. And Neek was like, the nigga told me from his own mouth that he saw you. I was like, ooh, okay. And Neek told the Black Michael Myers, you ain't shit. I was like, ooh, Neek, run. Didn't you your girl is already afraid of this nigga. I'm afraid of this nigga. I think we all should just be afraid of this nigga, right? So towards the end of the episode, you guys, the Black Michael Myers, we saw Dean. Dean went home to Granny, right? Granny is watching Supermarket Sweeps, right? And her hearing aid battery, it's out. So Dean takes Grandma's hearing aid to change the battery. I was like, oh, don't do what I think y'all finna do. They didn't do what I thought they was gonna do, but they did at least part of what I thought they were gonna do, right? So the Black Michael Myers, that fool came up the stairs, and in true Michael Myers fashion, there was a butcher's knife on the counter. He took the butcher's knife and pop, 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 pop. I was like, oh, wow. Because what I thought was going to happen was he was going to take out, Dean and Granny. But I was like, oh, that's even worse than what I thought it was going to be. Dean finna get gutted like a fish. Granny ain't going to hear a goddamn thing. I was like, oh, that's fucked up. That was fucked up. Fucked up. That's it, you guys. Let's pause here and wrap up the episode. Okay, so the episode, we open up the episode, and you guys remember, Kanan has those couriers, delivering weed, right? And so we see one of the couriers, he's in a high-speed chase with the cops, and he gets picked up. So we see as Kanan was trying to get the young man out of jail, but he couldn't do it because he's a minor, so he needed someone who was over the legal age of at least 18 to get that boy out, right? So he called Lou down, and Lou was like, Kanan, I don't know that boy. And he was like, whatever you up to something, Kanan, and whatever you up to, it ain't no good. I was like, you goddamn right about that. Ain't nothing good when it comes to Kanan, right? So then we see Rock. You guys remember in last week's episode, we saw Rock, and she went to go look at that plaza, right? So Rock bought the plaza. She didn't have a broker or anything, so she basically bought the plaza as is. And so we see her, and she's at one of the buildings, and so she noticed that the cops were outside. So they told her to come over there, right? And when she went over there, the cops were like, "Oh, we just want to introduce ourselves to you. So I'm Officer so and so, and this is Officer so and so." And she said, "I'm Raquel Thomas, right?" And they said, "Oh, well, we talked to the person who owned this previously, and they told us about you. So we just looked into you, and we want you to know that if you need us for anything, we're here for you. There's a lot of crime over here, and sometimes we can stop it before it happens." I was like, "Stop it before it happens? That means y'all are the cause of it, huh?" Y'all got a little vendetta against black people? I was getting that vibe. So then they asked her about Kanan. She's like, wait a minute, what the fuck do you know about my son? They said, when we talked to the person who sold it to you, he told us who you were, so we just looked into you and we saw that you have a son. I would have, you know what? I would have, Rock played it cool because I wouldn't have been able to play that so cool. Because cop or not, do not look into me and my child. He ain't got nothing to do with this. He ain't got nothing to do with you. So keep his name out of your fucking mouth. But she couldn't do that. She had to play it cool, right? So next up we see Marvin. So Marvin went to go check on Gerald. So he actually returned Gerald's driver's license and his badge for work. And so Gerald is thanking Marvin for, being there for him. And, finally in this episode, they mentioned Renee. I was like, God, I was beginning to think like, are we never gonna talk about the fact that that woman just got pop, 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 just blasted in her back? Well, no, she didn't get blasted in the back. Where did she get blasted at? I don't even remember. But I remember Renee got taken out in the season at the end of last season, right? So they both said that they missed Renee, and Gerald is saying how the group helped him with also his anger, but it also helped him with that other issue. And so he feels alone. And so Marvin was like, well, how about we do this? How about we both be there for each other? And Marvin is, you know, Marvin is slowly growing to become one of my favorite characters on this show. I know Marvin, he has his moments, right? He can screw things up. He can, the stuff with Juke, but Marvin has really done better. Next up, we see Jukebox, right? And you guys remember she was talking to the person about enlisting. So she's doing her physical exam. So the woman is asking her, are you pregnant? Have you ever been pregnant? Are you sexually active? And she was like, no to all those questions. And the woman was like, you don't want to go into you don't want to go into this with a baby or something. She was like, that won't happen. And the woman was like, so you say. And she said, no, I know so. And I was like, how rude of you, bitch. So you say. You don't look at, never mind. Never judge a book by its cover, right? Because I'm going to say, you can't look at this little girl and tell that she possibly might not like boys. She is a tomboy, but neither here nor there. Because I know some tomboys that were not, I just know some tomboys who were just tomboys that didn't turn out to be gay. Not all tomboys are gay. So next, let's pause here, you guys. Next up, you guys, we see Rock. So Rock pulled up to Kanan's school, and she saw him with those couriers, right? They got pages and they on bikes. And she was like, who are your friends? And she was like, who were those boys? He's like, oh, they're my friends. So like, so your friends got bikes and got pagers. Cool. So she's like, I just haven't talked to you, and I just wanted to, see you. So I noticed in the background when the kids were going into the school that they were going through a metal detector. And I was like, wow. Now, in my high school, we did not have a metal detector. My high school didn't get a metal detector until 2 years after I had graduated. Excuse me. My high school got a metal detector 2 years after I graduated. Yeah. Yeah, 2 years after I graduated, my high school got a metal detector, and it was only one particular reason why they got the metal detector, and it was a sad situation. One of the students in a special education, he unlived a teacher. I wonder what happened to that young man. I wonder whatever happened to that story, because I never did keep up with it. Because it was a big story it was a big story because they had to shut the school down for that day. I wonder whatever happened, because the teacher, like I said, and the crazy thing was the young man, he didn't, it wasn't like an actual metal weapon or anything like that. It was a pen. It was either a pen or a pencil, and he stuck it in the man's neck. But after that day, they decided to have metal detectors at my school. Like I said, I had graduated, so I wasn't worried about the shit. But that was one thing I noticed. Now, next thing up is we find out that Juke has made the girl group. And so, you guys remember, this is, I think we're in the 90s, if I'm not mistaken. I believe we're, because I know season 1, we were in the mid to late 80s. And I believe we're in the 90s at this current time. I think we're like in, what year are we? We got to be in like 91, 92, I believe. Because I noticed yeah, we're in the 90s, because when Marvin went to go see Gerald, there was a poster that had something about AIDS on it, and that is the height of the AIDS pandemic. So I feel like we're in like the early 90s, because by 96 we weren't. It was still bad, but 96 is when they came up with the medication that people take today, not the specific medication, but that's when they were starting to make the advances. So we got to be somewhere between 91 to maybe 93, I believe. I'm not sure what year we're in, but the woman is talking about the formula for the girl groups. I know damn well we're not in the late 90s, because you guys, Here's an interesting thing: the '90s, because not all the girl groups of the '90s were the same. Because Jade, you had all of them in Jade; they were feminine women. TLC was TLC. They had the tom. TLC was the only group, but everybody in the group was tomboyish in TLC. And in Vogue, they were all very feminine. Who? What other girl? Brownstone. Yeah, all the girl groups of the early '90s were very feminine. Were all feminine. They didn't have the diva, the girl next door, and the tomboy. I'm remembering. I don't. TLC was the only one that was semi like that. But again, like I said, even with TLC, T-Boz, Left Eye, and Chili, they all were the formula in the '90s was there was always one person in the group who rapped, and that was the one that they more marketed as a tomboy, right? That was the one that was more marketed as a tomboy. But Jukebox sings. But hey, I mean, it is what it is. The only person from the '90s well, she wasn't even in the '90s, she was the 2000s. The only artist that I know, and I've talked about her before, the only artist from the 2000s, I'm moving to the 2000s, the only artist that was a tomboy and she sang and she had a very, very, I mean, nothing rough about her voice, Amanda Perez. I wonder what ever happened to her. She made that one song, and I ain't heard shit else from Amanda Perez. I don't think they knew how to market Amanda Perez because of the fact that I think she was a lesbian. I believe Amanda Perez was a lesbian. And I don't want to put that on nobody that ain't true, but I thought Amanda Perez was a lesbian. I mean, I think she is, but I'm not positive. Because, I mean, I remember the first time I ever saw that woman's face. Her face didn't match what her voice sounded like. But yeah. Oh, so she was a lesbian. She has a wife. Okay, she got married she's married to a woman. Did not know that. I knew she was. I didn't want to assume, but I thought she was. What the hell am I talking about? Oh, Jukebox in this group, right? So next up, we see Kanan and Fame. So business is booming for them because the landline is booming, the pagers are going off, and then Paul came by to say like, "What the fuck is going on, Kanan? Like you told me I was gonna be making more money, but I'm not because either my guys are coming to work for you exclusively, or they are they're just leaving altogether because they don't want to be involved with this whole weed business." So then we see as Rock. So Kanan eventually left the apartment. Before that, he gave Paul some money and said that'll probably hold you over for a little while, right? So after that, when he left, Rock went up to the apartment and she went in and she had this gun, stuck it in Kanan's backpack and gave Fame some money. I was like, Fame, you might not want to tell Kanan about that. You might want to and toss it away and throw the key away with that. Because, I mean, you were definitely scared of him the last time, right? So we see Kanan, he met Jukebox at a pizza joint. And, he's proud of his cousin. So he's telling her, like, hey, we not eating pizza. We finna go to B. Smith's restaurant. I was like, B. Smith's restaurant? I was like, okay. And even Juke was like, really? You got money like that? So, yeah, we see them. They went out to celebrate. And I wasn't really paying attention to that scene. So I can't really tell you guys what 100% went down in that scene. So the next thing we see is Lou and Marvin, right? So Lou is beating himself up because he was like, well, damn, so Juke really didn't need me for that. She didn't need you, but it would have been nice for you to come through instead of you being in a drunk tank. And that's basically what Marvin told him. So Lou was talking to Marvin about that place that Shirley owns, right? He wants to go into business with him. And so Marvin was like, cool, I'm with it. So they went up there to Shirley's place and saw it. Lou, and you know how Lou feels about it, and Marvin liked it as well. So they were talking to Shirley about wanting to rebuild it and breathe new life into the place, and she's cool with it. She's getting older. She can't be breaking up these fights, and what better to pass it on to them? I was like, if you make it, and if they make it, and if this bar makes it, because I feel like it's gonna get a little muddy at some point. And when they were, Marvin was talking about what he wanted to do, bring some of the stuff in there, and Lou was like, no, let's not do that. And he was like, okay, cool. Now we see Kanan. Kanan went to the school, and remember, I told you guys, metal detector, gun in his backpack. So they found the gun, and he was like, that ain't my gun. So the principal called Rock down, and basically what happened is Howard intervened, so they're not going to press charges against him, but they do have a case with the ACS, right? So Kane is going to have to go back home and live with Rock for 6 months, and that's also something that Rock had told Nick, earlier when they were having dinner. She was like, because she saw his gun, and she was like, we're going to have to cut this because Kanan's going to come back home, and I don't need this around Kanan. And so Rock, Nick understood, and that's that. So Kanan was getting ready to leave. Kanan and Rock, they were leaving, and he was like, I think he was trying to say he'll meet her later. He's like, no, you're finna get your ass in this car and we finna go home. So they went home, and then we see Jukebox. She's meeting the members of the group, right? Remember, I told you there's a diva, there's a girl next door, and then there's a tomboy, which is Juke, right? The diva's a bitch. I mean, she lives up to the word diva, right? Because that girl didn't care nothing about nobody. Now, the girl next door is the one we met in last week's episode when Jukebox threw up and the girl offered her a Tic Tac. That's the girl next door. I can't think of what her name is right off the top. I think it was Aisha. I think the one girl's name, I think the diva's name is Crystal. I think this young lady's name is Aisha, and we got Jukebox, right? So we see Marv. All right, you guys. So after all of that stuff, because I already talked about Rock telling Kanan he was gonna come home with her. I already told you guys about Marvin wanting to run the drugs through the club, but Lou was like, no, let's not do that, right? So Howard, remember I told you guys that Howard intervened, and so he's the reason that the cops were not pressing charges, right? And so he's telling Rock, like, he can't keep doing this stuff for she and Kanan. I was like, sir, you shut up. So he also told her that the feds, they're not really buying this whole stuff about Crown Camacho. And so they probably have eyes on she and Kanan, right? Now, while they were talking, Kanan was ear hustling. So I'm wondering if Kanan put two and two together that his mom was the one that put the gun in his bag, right? Now, the group. The group's name is Butta, Butta. And the way that lady was talking to them girls, like, I was like, damn. Basically talking to them girls like they ain't shit. Like, if this is a success, y'all do what the fuck I say. If it's not, y'all go back to y'all regular lives and be whoever the fuck y'all were before this. Nobody's. I was like, damn, bitch, you just rude as fuck. That lady was rude. The way she was talking to them girls. I mean, god dog. But yeah, you guys, that is the episode. Let me know what you guys thought about it down in the comments section below. Subscribe to the channel, turn on your post notifications, and share the video, you guys. And until the next time, stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves. Wash your hands. Be blessed. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys. Oh, also, you guys, before I do get off of here, this is Christmas Eve, so this is the last video that I'm going to be doing before Christmas. So I won't see you guys. I won't see you guys on Christmas, and so I want to say to you guys, if you celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas. If you don't, I just want to say Happy Holidays to everybody out there. I hope you guys enjoy the time with your families. Eat, be merry, be festive, and I will catch you guys on the flip side, you guys. So once again, Happy Holidays, Merry Christmas. Kwanzaa's over, right? Yeah. So I think it's just going to be Happy Holidays, Merry Christmas, and Happy Hanukkah. No. Kwanzaa. Happy Kwanzaa. When does Kwanzaa start? I don't want to be over here sounding all stupid, but I think it's Kwanzaa. I think Kwanzaa is the, yeah, that's it. Kwanzaa is the 26th. So yeah, you guys, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and happy Kwanzaa to all those who celebrate the holidays. And I'll see you guys in the next one.